Correct.
Good evening, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and we are joined with my regular co-host. We have Digger Jim below. How you doing tonight, Jim?
Good. How are you, sir?
I am good. And earlier we had reached out in the month to get Matt Woods as a co-host, but he said my channel's way too small for someone of his stature, and he basically spit in my face. And after I had a good cry, I went and got someone a little more handsome and a lot more charisma. And we have Anaconda Comics Joe as a co-host.
Yay.
Of course, we kid. Matt Woods is awesome. Matt Woods, everybody.
Matt Woods.
Well, shoot, let me get my
Matt Woods.
Matt Woods.
And, of course, if you guys haven't guessed it already, our guest of the evening, of the hour or more, is Madam and Master Blaster. How are you doing this evening, guys?
We're doing great. This is awesome. Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's so great to have you back on. We had so much fun last time. How would we not do it again, right?
Now, look, before we get rolling, let's just the elephant in the room. I mean, Matt Woods is unreliable. I've said it before. I'm saying it again. Put it out there.
It's going to be a Giving Matt Woods grief stream, guys. So
I think so.
his ears are ringing.
Charge your glasses, everybody.
I can't keep up.
I love Matt Woods.
Matt Woods.
I love Matt Woods.
We should explain that. So real quick, before we roll into it, the Matt Woods thing on our channel, I've said Matt Woods so many times. He is a friend of mine that Stephanie's like, it was a trigger word. And then we just decided that I wasn't going to stop saying it. So we turned it into a drinking game. So Stephanie did. So if we say Matt Woods.
That's it.
You
Say
guys
it at home
drink.
like on the regular now.
We say it on date night at the bar.
I can see you at work. Stephanie's just at home going, Matt Woods, Matt Woods, Matt Woods. Well, I got to drink now.
He'll do it in the morning, so I can't go to the base. I can't drive. I'm like, I guess I'm calling in sick today. Just that's a joke.
I can already see the ambulance showing up. What's wrong with you guys, Matt Woods?
I got Matt Woods.
Try not to have too many Matt Woods tonight. So
Right.
Matt Woods 2 minimum.
Right.
Well, he's already got more promotion in the first 30 seconds of this video than. Oh, all right. So as I
Matt
like,
Woods.
right, as I like to start these things, I always like the guests to introduce themselves. You guys did it on the last show. We'll do it on this show. For anyone new, that's fine. And you guys, who are Master and Madam Blaster, and what is your channel about?
And tell the truth. Tell the truth this time. Tell the truth this time.
I'll tell the truth, Joe. Steven, after talking about comics nonstop in the morning, he would sneak off and like make videos in his truck without me knowing, like making comic book videos and putting them online on YouTube. And finally, I like caught wind of this, and he's like, "Everyone, be quiet! I'm gonna make a video." Shh. So after a little bit of that, he invited me to be on the video, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll be on that video. I'll ask you some questions, you know." So anyway, like we're just having fun. I'm having fun making videos with him, and yeah. So I'm down the comic book rabbit hole now for a good year.
And you learn to appreciate comics through Steven.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. If you can't beat him, join him. I believe Madam has said before.
You said that.
Oh, okay. Well, we can go back and check the replay from a year ago. But anyway, I've been collecting comic books since I was a kid and float in and out like everybody else. I'm in the military. And I like my Stanley signatures. I like original art. And, you know, I like the pop culture aspect. So our channel, just whatever, we play it loosey-goosey. We like to play games on our show. And whatever is the hot topic, me and Madam dissect it on our channel. We like to have fun. Frankly, we don't ask people to come and watch because we're shy, but we love the people that come and hang out with us. And we have a nice core group that we cherish.
We're surprised anybody wants to spend any time with us at all, frankly. So
I would never have cornered you guys as shy people.
No.
And we like to do the cosplay sometimes, especially
Yeah.
about once a month, do you cosplay.
I'm curious to know where we are on the back rub challenge. Like, are you ahead of there? Are you owed back rub material right now?
You know, honestly, I believe I am owed a back rub.
I'm thinking you were the last time I looked. I was like, I think he's up one.
You might have been sleeping, I think, during the last back rub. I think you fell asleep.
Absolutely not.
Completely forgot.
Not true.
Well, I can't wait for the back rub video to come out. That's
when did
we
we get that one?
Joe, that video will not be made for children, and we might charge a fee for that one.
Yeah, the OnlyFans one.
There's rumor that Steven owes you some alcohol. Would you care to explain that to the audience?
Yeah, if I win the next, which one's more expensive? He's gonna owe me 100-year-old Grand Marnier, which is my favorite liqueur.
Yeah.
Start saving up.
Okay, I'll agree to that. I'll agree to that live on. It's okay. It's expensive, so I can't lose. So what we're talking about is, I'll take another back massage. We can just wrap that. So what people need to know about Madam, if you don't know her, is she is a sculptor. So she uses her hands for a living. So the back rubs are pretty good. I'm going to leave it at that. And she has sketched many members of the comic book community, and they're pretty awesome if I can brag on her.
Like that guy. Didn't you do this guy right here?
Both of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was one of the early ones, like where she was doodling at night, she says. So I'm a doodle. You know,
you're one of my first, Joe, that I did the first portrait of. Yeah,
I was maybe the second one, I think. Maybe Matt Wood was the first. Maybe, I don't know. I was one of the first ones. Yeah, I don't know which one I was though. But I wanted to ask. So you're a sculptor, right? But you guys met in art school, right? Didn't you meet in art school? So
we did.
What happened to Steve? What happened to Master Blaster?
Did
he just like drop?
I know what happened.
I'll tell you what happened.
Go ahead.
Steven just decided to start taking credit for my work. And he's like, hey, Stephanie, I could really use your help on a project. Can you help sculpt this little piece right here? Can you help make this head? And so I would do this, and he would just pass it off as his own freaking sculpture. I was like, that's enough. But we did just pick up some little statues at the Foundry yesterday that we kind of collaborated on. That it was his idea, but I sculpted it. And
we're a team.
We're a team. Yeah.
Nice. That's the way to look at it.
Before we get into any more questions, we've already gone off the rails. We have to say hi to our chat.
Yay!
So Joe's waiting to bite on the bit. We'll get to Joe's next question soon. So good evening, Las Cruces. He was in. Comics by the Bay. Matthew, how you doing? Brian LCS, good evening, sir. Psychedelic Comics, nice to see you. Nice. We're going to be going here for a second, guys. Philtastic Comics, nice to see you. Boom. Caroline, how are you?
Caroline.
Jerry the Jitterbug. Guys, check out Jerry's shorts. Tons of golden and silver age books, and they're amazing with cool facts.
Yes.
All right, we have Mark Andrews in. Good evening, Mark.
Yay!
We have Marcus in. Good evening, Marcus.
Marcus was abused today.
I saw that. Seth 11. Good evening, Seth. How you doing? Cali Comics. Good evening, sir. And we are Warlord. How are you, sir? Nice to see you in.
Warlord.
Main Event Comics. David, how are you, buddy?
Matt Woods.
Oh, there we go.
He typed it.
Main Event called it. So.
We get a dime every time, guys. You have no idea.
How you doing? Paul Canjo. Good evening, sir.
Canjo.
Right. So we've got Walbor. Good evening, sir.
Yes.
We've got a full house in effect tonight. And I think if I missed anybody, Manny the Hobgoblin Collector. Good evening, sir.
Team Nerdy.
So if I missed anybody, I apologize. I'm trying to get back to the interview with our esteemed guest. So, first of all, my question. You got sucked into comics, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Through Steven. But I kind of think that was a connection that was always going to have to be made because of your art. So when did you start becoming an artist? Like, were you always a doodler as a child?
I was always really good at art as a child. And I remember being very young and my mom would ask me a question and I would want to draw it instead of verbalize it to her. And like, I remember that being a thing. Like, I just want to draw it, Mom, and show you, you know?
Right.
But I just always like been good at drawing and sculpting just when I was young through the years.
So I had a mental picture of when you're mad, drawing a bunch of middle fingers and sending them to people. Now they really know how I feel.
Forever.
Do you want to know what she really does? She takes your Hulk 181 8.5 signed by Stan Lee and Herb Trimpe and runs in the bathroom and closes the door. I'm sorry, I have PTSD. Hide your comics. That's all I'm saying.
No, all right, so so you were always drawing as a child, and then because we're getting up to how you and Steven met. You guys met in art class, right?
Right.
Was it like?
Yeah, we were in sculpture class together. I was taking a class at the college, the Scottsdale College, to develop a portfolio, and Steven was taking it to have fun and
to get a degree,
finish his bachelor's degree. And Steven came over and asked me out, and it was really sweet. And I was like, I'd really like to.
I got shot down.
I have a boyfriend, so I can't.
Oh no!
Yeah, so.
Dun dun dun! I love this story so far. Keep going.
So he would be really nice, and he would help me at class still, and we would talk and play chess, and he would very manly carry out bronze statues for me that I had made to the car, his motorcycle, and look at my motorcycle,
Oh, he had a motorcycle. Wow.
Hey, chess, motorcycle.
But I lived at home with my mom, which was kind of, it was like, I'll help you carry the heavy stuff, and I have a motorcycle, and then I live at home with my mom, and it was like, crash and burn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I outlasted that other guy. Yeah.
That's what's important.
You dug the claws in, and you just kind of let it seep in there for a while.
Played the long game, sir. Played the long game.
I did.
Well, I was actually breaking up with my boyfriend. I was going to move back to Wisconsin. And Steven and I were in his car for after class or something. And I was like,
oh my God, I didn't think we were going to go this deep into the story.
I was like, I'm going to go to Wisconsin in next week or whatever. If you're going to make a move, now's the time.
And I was completely oblivious because she was like, I have a boyfriend. And she kept shutting me down.
And he's like, well, I thought you had a boyfriend, And then I got my hand on the door. And I was about to open that door and leave, and that was going to be it. And
then I was like, and I just let loose all the blaster goodness on her.
Oh my gosh, yes.
This is a PG show, Steven.
It was PG.
I think the relation
name blaster.
Yeah.
I think the relationships that last, because your story is very similar to mine, but on a reverse scenario, in some ways.
Of course.
But I think when there is kind of that struggle in the beginning, that makes for a better relationship and a longer lasting relationship. That's my view on that. So, congratulations, Matt Woods, to you.
Right.
Thanks. So yeah, we've been married for 18 years now.
4 kids.
18 years. Oh, you guys nothing.
Joe, our generation, this day and age, we're survivors.
Yeah, that's big. No
That's
lie.
true.
Congrats.
Don't
take light of that. No doubt. Yeah, but you know what? Playing the long game is never a bad thing. And you know what? I kept hearing that John Cusack song in the background during that whole car scene you were just singing out, your eyes. And I was like, oh my God, does he have the boombox? But yeah. That's great. That's great.
Now, madam, did Steven have hair back then?
I didn't want to ask that. I think that's too personal.
No, that's a very good question.
This is a hot seat, damn it.
That's an excellent question.
Can we?
And he did not have hair. He was presented as thus, and I accepted him as thus. and I was attracted to him as thus. Therefore, our relationship works.
Nice. Nice.
It's funny. First off, Digger Jim, thanks for backing me up. If there's any way, Gary, to shuffle Digger to the middle and shove Joe down, is I get whoever supports me, we're going to rack and stack them. All right.
So there you go, Jim.
I'll be
there. Yes. All right. Yes. Digger. Yeah, baby. I can't believe we're talking about this. We should get into comic books at some point. But I had a German girlfriend before, and I felt horrible for her because she met me with hair, and I lost my hair with her, and I felt like she got a bad deal, right? So when I met Stephanie, I was happy that it was like, this is what you get, lady. Right. You know?
Well, I just didn't know if you did it because of the military.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can grow a full head of hair. This is all the on the sides.
On the sides now. Yeah, that's pretty much everybody.
And out of my ears, and yeah.
You've hit all those age markers, right? Oh, hair grows out of here now.
Right.
Yeah, really like the senior Ralphie, right?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So Gary, I'm going to bring us into comic books a little bit, if that's okay.
Absolutely, Joe.
And then I got art. I had art questions too, but. For both of you guys, mostly because, well, first of all, I have to give a little bit of a commentary here. I watched some of those early videos that Master Blaster did, and they were really friggin' boring. I watched it out of the sense that we're, Gibbon Gang. That's why I'm going to stay at the bottom for this whole show. But they were, Gibbon Gang member tried to support him, and then suddenly Madam showed up. And it was like the Sonny and Cher of the 70s came into the 2020s, and it was like fantastic. If you guys remember Sonny and Cher show was very similar to Master and Madam Blaster.
Are you serious?
It became a real watch some of the show. Watch their initial before they get into the other stuff when they first start the show.
The chemistry.
The chemistry there was amazing, and Cher was given one-liners back at Sonny, and it was like just amazing. And when I watched you guys in the beginning and as you went along, now it's a little bit more mature. That's what popped into my mind. So for people who haven't watched it, and if you know the Sonny and Cher show, this is the Madam and Master Blaster show, and it's really terrific. But let me ask you something, Steve. I'll ask you first, but then Madam, because you got involved, I'd like to know first. I'd like to know what your answer is also. So, Steve, what's the first comic book that you remember reading, and approximately, when was that? And Madam, since you kind of were drawn into this because of Steve's, love of comics and original art and the rest of that type of stuff, I know we've spoken a lot about the covers and the art part of that type of stuff, but I'd like to know whether or not you've read some of the comics and which one maybe was the first one that you read. So, Steve, Madam.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Tim Burton's Batman is what kicked it all off, right? Wow. So my dad took me, and that opening sequence when the camera is flying around the symbol.
So great, right?
Oh my God. And then from there, it was just magic, the whole movie. And I had a few buddies who lived on the street with me, and we'd play basketball together. We'd go fishing together.
The street with you.
I thought he was going to say we played
in my neighborhood.
We know you. We know what you're talking about.
All right. Okay, the streets of Wisconsin. Relax.
Right.
We went to the comic book shop after Tim Burton's Batman, and everything was kicking off then. So it was Batman. It was Death in the Family. Was the hotness.
What a great one
at that time.
Wow.
Did you call and vote?
I did not, but I know what you're talking about, and it was a big deal at the time. Yeah. I think Death in the Family might have already been had been out a little bit right before I got to the comic book shop, but it was the second book where it's the portrait of Batman and Robin. Mm-hmm. My dad drove me to the comic book shop, and I had cut some lawns, and I had some money. And I remember pointing, I couldn't even reach it. And it was it was $10 or $20, which was a lot.
Right.
because that was super hot right then. And my dad looked at me and he's like, "You really want to pay that for that?" And I was like, "Yeah."
What'd I say, Dad?
Yeah, and I bought it. And yeah, I remember that's one of my favorite. If we're gonna go at some point, I know Gary B. I've done my homework. You're gonna ask me about stories, and The Death in the Family is the beginning, Joe. So that's the book. That's the set that kicked it all off.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Gary.
Oh well, I just curious how you go from A Death in the Family to being a Stanley Spider-Man collector.
Yeah, that was my next question too. You went from DC to Marvel.
That's a long journey, guys.
And we still need Madam to finish answering.
Yeah.
So Joe was at. So Joe,
I got you.
All right.
Well, you got into comics, so I know you like the art, and there's certain artists you like, which we can get into later on. But I mean, have you read any comic books? And if so, which is the first one that caught your attention that you read?
Well, I was watching The Walking Dead, and I love The Walking Dead. I thought it was awesome. And Steven's like, "Did you know that's a comic book?" And he had the comic books and he was reading them, and I was like, "No, wow, pretty cool." And he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "Michonne," he's like, "In the show, they don't show what really happens to her. You know, it's so much worse in the comic books." And I was like, really?
The governor, boy,
like that sounds cool. Like, let me read some comic books, you know. So I read some Walking Dead for that. But I was impressed by the storyline. The artwork was nice. But that's about the only one I've really read.
Okay. So the rest of them you're just collecting because of the cover artwork. Is that it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. Okay.
All right. Back to you, Steven. How'd you get the Spider-Man from Batman?
Well, okay. So growing up, I just want to say it was so fun. Like I said, growing up on the streets.
You gotta wait till you have the mean in her mouth.
The mean streets of Wedgwood and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You know, it was. But like, it was so cool because I remember, the Turtles were big. We didn't have cable, right? So I only had ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS.
Yeah, right on.
But I remember going to, I don't know if it was McDonald's or Burger King, but you could get the VHS tape of the Turtles cartoons. I don't know if this is ringing bells for anybody, but so Turtles was big. We were all collecting Spider-Man, and we would play basketball and gamble comic books on it, right? So I could win some comic books off my buddies if I could beat them at a game of 21 or whatever. So all that was happening, and I probably threw together a couple long boxes worth of comic books. And then I joined the military at the age of 17 and started traveling around, and comic books were left behind. But when I came back from overseas and I was active duty, I got out of the active duty and I came to Arizona. I got back into comic books, and I went back to Frank Miller's Daredevil. Frank Miller's a big influence on me. And I just go back to that time. I love Sin City. I love his Daredevil run. I love Batman, Frank Miller stuff. So I got into that, and then I got on eBay somehow, and this is how we're going to get to Spider-Man, I promise.
I was laughing at eBay. We all get onto eBay somehow.
I got onto eBay buying comic books, and I was buying comic books and they were from the 90s. It was all nostalgia driven.
Right.
An original art page sort of popped into I was looking at Hulk stuff at the time. And I bought a page of original comic book art, and then the floodgates opened up on that. And for a couple of years, that's all I did. I completely bought in. I drank the Kool-Aid on that, and I abandoned comic books completely. And
wow,
I got about 150 pieces of original comic book art, and then I had to pump the brakes. Okay. And I had this revelation that you cannot keep doing that. It's financially insane. A piece of original comic book is so unique. Enough's enough, right? You can't collect that like comic books.
Right.
So what's that?
The original art pages are huge.
Right. So you have like big books, right? You have like 11 by 17 or
like new portfolio.
Right.
Portfolios. Yes. Now they're easy to store, and you can display them. That wasn't necessarily the thing. It was the financials of the matter.
No, because that one page could be, thousands of dollars. And it just blows my mind.
So I think original art taught me, it accelerated my evolution of collecting.
Yeah.
Period. Right.
Sure.
And I quickly said, okay, I need to pare it down, and I have a goal to like pare down to 100. I still have like 130 pages. So when that happened, I wanted to go back to comic books.
Right.
And that is where, once I had original art is so narrow, I needed to narrow my focus back into comic books when I got back to it. And that's where I landed on Spider-Man and Stan Lee signatures.
See, now that's the hard part, though. I mean, good Lord, brother. It's Spider-Man books is one thing, but getting Stan Lee signature ones, I wouldn't think that'd be as easy either.
On the
it
first
ain't easy,
100,
but
it ain't easy, but something. I'll say something. I'll quote something Steven said just the other day when he was talking about acquiring some of these books. He was talking about one of these books he's got his eye on. He's like, something? I don't have to have it, but I gotta have it. Like it doesn't matter. I have to have it.
I have to have it.
Yeah.
But you're on a mission.
I am on a mission.
And that's
we haven't said this. If people don't know,
tell them
what I'm doing is I'm trying to collect Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 100 signed by Stan Lee. Yellow label CGC.
That's what I'm talking about being a task. I mean, they don't just pop up every day.
No.
Not right now, they don't. This is actually the worst time.
Yeah.
Shockingly to me.
Especially with the market downturn, right?
You would think, and I feel like the floodgates might open a little bit. Not that I'd be prepared for that. I'm prepared for a few books right now, but let's go back for a second, because I think it's important for me to explain myself. I created a goal that was so ridiculous and would take so long that it would keep me, like I said, my milestone is once a month, try to buy one of these books.
Nice.
And I sort of didn't know if I would get bored with it a quarter of the way through, halfway through, you know what I mean? So I haven't been, so I'm pleasantly surprised. I know I just went on a dissertation.
Now, when you decided to do this call, though, because I always had a question about it, right? When you did you do the research to make sure that Stan Lee had signed 1 through 100 at least? Because that's 100 books. What are the odds that Stan Lee signed at least one of each issue?
I did not do the research originally. It is a great question, and I certainly didn't do the research. But then somewhere in the middle, I started to notice that the non-key books, there were definitely less of them popping up. So then I went to the census and I looked at 1 through 100, and sure enough, 50, there's hundreds and hundreds of yellow labels signed 50. Now here's the little nuance that if you're not doing what I'm doing, you don't realize. The census doesn't say it's signed by Stan Lee. It could be signed by John Romita, Senior only. So there's no definitive number that I can. And I did email
Steve. You can pop up. I think for most of them, you can pop up the picture of the actual book, and then take a look and see who signed it. At least I've been able to do that on some that I've looked at. I'm not sure if that's typical or not, but I've been able to do that. So once you get to the sign thing and it says 10 signed, number 55, if you click on it, you can then make the photograph that they have of the actual book bigger and see who signed it.
Right.
On CGC or Go Collect? Because I'm familiar with that on Go Collect.
On Go Collect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go Collect.
But they're not all on there on Go Collect. I don't. Okay.
Now, Mark's not wrong here. What he says. I mean, put that back up, Gary. That's a true statement. I mean, it's not to be funny. It's almost to be true, because towards the end of Stan's life, his handlers had him signing everything. I mean, they're just like, look, here's a cup, sign it, you know. And I felt bad for the man because of how that played out. But no, and you know what? I get it. I mean, that's I don't know, issue 14, Spider-Man 14. Got to meet the man, had him sign it. I mean,
Jim beat him with a stick to get that signature.
Hang on, 14. Let me see if I've got that one. Hang on.
It's not a competition, honey.
No. I was just pointing out that, you know what? I had a bunch of books I could have picked, but no.
You're dropping stuff, honey.
It's not a competition. We just have a list. Okay, I have 14.
Right, and that's not what I was saying. That was you know, I was trying really hard to figure out what I wanted to have him signed. And when I went to this, it was a package deal for 2 people. And I invited my friend, and he bought the book and said, here, I'm giving you this, you know, as a thank you for bringing me along. And, you know, have him sign that. And I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. And he saw, you know, again.
14's the broomstick, right?
I don't know if it's 14 or 17. I can't see it from here.
Is it I feel like 14's the 13.
No, it's 17.
17.
It's 17.
He was just trying to decide.
Hold on a second.
Visit your.
Hold on a second. I don't have 17.
Yeah, it's the one where the Human Torch is out in front, and he's web shooting the Human Torch to try to get to Green Goblin. So yeah,
I know it's super special, Digger, but if that ever becomes available.
Yeah, well, it's not slab. That's the thing. You would have to slab it.
Oh, that's I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm sticking to the CGC verified.
Sorry, I didn't. I don't even think they had anybody there.
Oh, you're making it even harder on yourself. Not just signed, but CGC verified.
Yeah, it's got to be verified. Yeah.
So, but
it's still a great. It's a great thing, though. I mean,
it really is
do something like that. I mean, I don't know that you'll ever complete it. I hope you do, but the fact that you have something that you still feel very, you know, strong about in terms of collecting is just terrific. You know, because a lot of times, you know, people go through, you know, ups and downs. And I know, you know, you mentioned some of you, like when you stopped collecting and all that, and we've spoken about that in the past. But to have something that keeps you there and keeps you going back, I think that's really the way to collect, is to find something you really love. Somebody said, collect something that you love. I forget who said that, you know, but oh wait, I think it was you. And so I think it's a fantastic.
It's a fun goal too.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
I think we all need one like really hard to obtain goal to keep us interested, right?
That's right. That's a great idea, Gary. You're right about that. You need a life goal, you know, a bucket list goal.
Mm-hmm. And when you have this obnoxious goal, then it's the small things. I was just at the local comic book shop yesterday, and there is a Guardians of the Galaxy run from the early 90s, like 90, 91, that I'm completely unfamiliar with because I'm not necessarily a Guardians of the Galaxy fan. But they had them out, and I realized it was all the major artists like did a different cover. It was all the Image guys before they went over, and I was like, this is neat. I have like no interest in reading this story, but these are
but the covers
cool.
Yeah,
it's cool, like to just discover that, you know, and they cost nothing, but that's exciting to discover that.
Right,
you know,
not to take away from that either. Part of the fun in what we do here is the hunt, right? So you're hunting, you're having fun. It's like the ultimate going to look at garage sales, right? You're always on the hunt. You're always have an eye out. No matter what comic store you go in, there's already a fun factor there because you're going to hunt. Yeah. You're already looking for something.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, so now let's touch on Spider-Man still a little bit more. Favorite Spider-Man artist, and I think it's John Romita. It's Todd McFarlane. Okay, I think John Romita Sr. is the best to me.
I mean, that's where I land. I love So that I don't know. That's like, can I like both and call it a day? Different errors.
Sophie's choice, baby. Sophie's choice.
I really like Eric Larson's Spider-Man.
Eric Larson's great too, and Mark Bagley. There's been tons of great Spider-Man artists, but to me, the definitive Spider-Man is John Romita Sr.
Yeah,
I'm with you now, Madam. What would you like to say about that?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh. Would you like to say anything about Amazing Spider-Man 50?
That's not my favorite.
That's her favorite cover, I remember.
Now, is there a way to make Madam at the bottom of Joe?
But I'm with you on that one, Steve. I'm with you on that one, Master Blaster. I don't understand her not liking that. I mean, that's so iconic. And
I know, but I'm going strictly from composition, Joe, and from compositionally, it's just boring.
So tell us a cover that you do like, that you're like, oh wow, this guy really. And it doesn't have to be Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man, but I really
like the Ditkos.
The Ditkos are okay, yeah.
See, Ditko is really hit or miss for me. Sometimes, like
Spider-Man one, I'm thinking of.
All right, well,
just like Howley Granoff, it's more modern stuff I like.
Right. Sure.
So who's your favorite modern artist then?
Yeah.
Jenny Frisian for sure right now.
One of my questions, so I knew the answer.
Have you checked out Selena though? Are you familiar with her?
No.
Ooh. Check out Selena. She has amazing stuff right now.
Okay.
If I dig them out, I'll send you guys a few pics in the chat we have going. Incredible art. I'd be actually curious about your opinion on it. But that, and have you been looking at the She-Hulk Jen Bartel covers and how gorgeous they are? Plus the Women's History Month covers by Jen Bartel, which are beautiful.
I haven't seen Women's History Month's covers. I'm not a big fan of She-Hulk in general, so I'm not a big fan of the covers.
Man, you were doing okay on points until then.
I told you we were to the bottom.
I'm just not, and I really like Middleton. I saw him; he was new.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
Germ is amazing, and David Nakayama is one of my favorites too. So.
My favorite Middleton cover is just that full face Wonder Woman one he did. It's just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
If you've never seen it, look it up. I have it in my collection somewhere, but I'll send a picture of that.
Right now, Gary.
We got it, Gary. We need you to invest in that political thing where as someone's talking, the audience meter is like
going down.
Right?
That's what the chat's about.
We're going down.
So Mark wants to know what you think of Peach Momoko covers.
I really like those too. Yes.
Scotty Young.
Watch her.
Hit or miss.
No, not Scotty Young.
Like watching her work, her time lapse ones are fantastic. Watching Peach.
Have you seen her on Instagram doing her art?
No.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's really cool. All right, so you got Madam into comics, but so you guys have a lot of interests that are intertwined now. But what's the one divide you guys have when it comes to comics that she can't get behind that you love, or that she loves that you can't get behind? Is there something in there where you guys like just totally disagree on one particular artist or one particular character?
Well, I was going to say we disagree on when boxes show up to the front door.
I knew that was coming eventually.
I'll be at the base, and and things have simmered down because of inflation. We have 4 children. We didn't say that in the beginning, so we got to feed them. And if an egg costs $1, there's less comic books coming in the front.
Yeah, but eventually they're old enough to feed themselves.
That's right, Gary.
And Gary, right. That is the reason you have 4, because if one doesn't. No,
you got to think about which one you're, could actually let go of to get that one, signed by Stan Lee.
Digger, you got to remember, 20 years from now, our 4 children are going to rewatch this, so you better.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, sorry, kids.
There is one thing that's really bothered me about Steven when the comic books, everything that we don't agree on, And that would be that I obviously can't handle the comics in the correct manner. Oh, even to this day. I was gonna go take a comic that was slabbed. I was gonna go touch it, and he's like, "Whoa, hold on!" Like I need a whole new dissertation about how the proper way to hold a comic book.
But I've seen Steven hold art like a gorilla.
I know.
That's because there's only one. So there's only one of that. So it's not like it's a 9. It's the only one.
You can still demand the price you want for it.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
All right. So what we're talking, so are all your kids still relatively young, or you got
15, 13? I hope I get this right.
Yeah.
Because
they'll be watching this in 20 years going, Dad, he was losing it.
I did not take tap dance as a kid, but I'm trying to do it.
Yeah, well, your kids are watching.
15,
so no
13,
pressure.
10, and 8.
There you go.
I got it right. I got it right. All right. It is 3-2, everybody.
That's leading me into my other question. When did you guys decide to start having the friendly competitions on the show?
We just wanted something fun to do, and we're very creative. You know, we have fun thinking of stuff and talking about little segments and stuff. And
I noticed Steven likes to get sly when he's giving you the which one's more money, and I instantly know, and most of us do. But with us knowing, we can see the game Steven's playing with that one too.
Yeah.
We're like, he's being really sly with that.
That's right.
Yeah, I notice his little comments, and I can see right through them. I think I can hear like the distrust in his his deceiving voice. You know, when he's coming up like, "This was a really good one, huh?" It's like, yeah, this one's the one that's not most expensive.
You're starting to see through it because I can tell too. In the beginning, I used to scream. I used to scream at the screen saying, no, madam, pick the other one. Don't pick that one. He's trying to trick you.
So you're saying for a military guy, his subterfuge game is weak.
Yeah.
If I get captured by the enemy, those secrets.
They're out.
They're out.
All right, but let's talk about the military for a second. So you and Matt Woods obviously became great friends. Appearing in all these different things, legislation or whatever, papers with your names together, but you guys didn't meet for the longest time, correct?
Yeah. I mean, we met through Reggie Collects, the Gibbon Gang, of course. And we met at GarageCon. But like we're both in the air. Well, Matt just retired.
Right.
We won't make a joke this once for Matt Woods. Thank you for your service, Matt Woods.
Thank you for your service.
But we are literally in I'm on the bomb squad. Matt was a training manager and had other skills. But we are in a very tight silo, and the fact that we were in it together was kind of cool. Like there'd be Air Force documents with both of our names on it, and we didn't know each other. And then through the Gibbon Gang, we're like, holy crap. I really know you, bro. And then I have to tell this story. So Matt Woods has a nickname called Big Spoon, and I'm Little Spoon because we went to GarageCon, and I'm in Arizona, and Matt flew to California. Reggie was there, and Matt was like, I have a hotel room. Just come stay with me. So I went there, and we did that. And when we went to Reggie's place, we were like, hey, we never knew each other, but we stayed in a hotel room. We're in the military. That's business as usual. Okay. Right. But Reggie was like, who was the big spoon? And I was like, Matt Woods paid for the room. He was the big spoon. You know what I'm saying? So, but we hit it off like gangbusters from there. He's a great guy. He likes goats and Conan. So
I'm behind the Conan, the goats. I don't know. That's exclusively a Matt Woods thing, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta love the guy. You know, he's unreliable, but we can let that slide.
He's not unreliable.
So Steve, you know, since we're talking about the military, you know, comic books. If you go even way back to like World War II and so forth, you know, it seems that soldiers and really liked comic books, you know, and if you go on the bases, there's comic book shops, people, they read them. And a lot of what I know is from an historical perspective. But how is it nowadays, you know, with some of your, you know, Air Force pals and basically, you know, how do comic books play into, if at all, you know, on base life?
I mean, right now with all the content on Disney and in the movie theaters, it's hot like it is everywhere else. And it is hot on the base. So it is neat. And I've been in the military since 1993. And that wasn't necessarily the case back then, you know, even in the 90s and things. So the movies and all the TV shows are definitely, and the airmen are loving it. And talk about it and come in and I'll be like, you know, that's based on a comic book, and they get jazzed. We do a white elephant at Christmas, and some of the guys, I'll gift a slabbed comic book, and they might not even collect comic books, but they love it.
Right.
You know?
They think it's cool. Right on.
They do. They do. So with everything, it's all cumulative. The Funko Pops, the video games.
Right.
All the content. I mean, this is a great time. I know that we feel like there's a pullback and there might be some stress involved with that, but I think we're going to be okay having the 4 children in the military, seeing that in the military. I have to tell you this, Joe, I love that question because I want to not talk about modern times, but I'll tell you what I love about the military and comic books is this. It's the Mart Jewelers inserts.
Oh, yeah.
And it's finding comic books that were shipped overseas and have the stamps and they went to the military bases. Mm-hmm. When I find those, because you might get a collection or a little batch of comics and you're putting 2 and 2 together, that it was a soldier overseas collecting the comic books, and they have that's the stuff that's given me chills, and I do love it.
Right. Steve, explain to me. You said it has a stamp. What stamp does it have?
It has it'll have a star or just different stamps.
I don't know that. I didn't even realize that's what it was.
You got to do a show on that, Steven. With just the ones that you have, so just kind of educate everybody.
Joe?
I will.
Joe?
Yes?
I even knew that.
Whoa. And I don't, well, madam, don't overextend us. I'm not the expert here. That's what, like, no one come to our channel for, like, expertise. Okay? Unless it's, like, BSing. Okay?
I mean, there were a lot of comics, and I'm sure Joe knows this much, that there were, you know, there are comics that were out there that would have like that date stamp. Some of them even had like the drugstore that, you know, sold the comic, whether it be on the front or the back. I mean, I know I've got a couple that had that date stamp, which I don't find as a problem. Some people hate it. I love it.
Oh, Digger, you just keep Digger up top. Cool. Can I have a man crush on Digger? I'm in. All right, Joe. You've got work to do, buddy. Oh, whoa. All right. But that is opening up. That reminds me of 2 things I want to mention. We just did a video. Our last video, you should check out if you want to make fun of me because the GIMP gets pulled out of the box, if you know what I'm saying. But I just purchased 3 of under 100s signed by Stan Lee. I already had 2 of them, but I added 1. They all are, it's like a 4.5, a 5.0, and a 5.5. And the reason is they had the subscription crease.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful display. And fortunately, it didn't really break the front color. On the back, it's obvious. And I think it was Mark Andrews, I want to say, I know he's here, said like CGC won't grade that higher than a 6.0 regardless, you know. And shout out to Joe. You can move him to the top for this. Joe sent us an original comic book that had the subscription mailer still with his address on it from back in the day.
That's cool.
Wow, that's crazy.
Stephanie's reaching. Cover his address.
I didn't really know.
I don't live there anymore. It's okay.
He doesn't live there anymore.
This is a treasure, like gold books. I mean, Joe, this is a treasure. I don't even know what's inside. Matt Woods is like, you can pull it out and look and put it back in. And I'm like, I don't want to know. It's Fantastic Four #3. I don't care what
I don't think so.
I bet Joe checked.
He's waiting for his last meal, and then he's going to pry it open.
So what I wanted, all that was to say subscription increases. I call that the date time stamp. I don't know if that's the official name, Jim, but to me, that like warms my heart, like all that stuff.
The history.
It's like historical. It's historical. I mean, it's a time period thing.
I don't think you should punish the comic book.
I don't either. I think that's part of it. And, you know, CGC.
Yeah, Mark Andrews is screaming this out.
All of us agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that in our comments. I agree with him.
Especially since I have so many of them, you know?
Yeah. Joe's 100% behind this one. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and that was a great video that you had on that, Joe, because I didn't really know about him until then. And watching it was like an education about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Think about it. They'll let like a binary tear on the corner, and they'll be like, well, they all had that, so we're not going to mark down for that.
Right.
So what the heck with that? That's like at no fault of, that was just the way things were done. That was just
how they were mailed back then.
Yeah. All right, CGC, fix that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with the poly bags. Yeah. Now let's do a fun question. Where does the evil grin and giggling come from when Madam Blaster wins something? Like, has she always been that way with winning? She is downright diabolical in some of the videos when she's winning. I've been scared for you on occasion, Steven.
I don't know. I'm really self-conscious about it now, Gary. Thank you. So now I will never laugh again.
Yes, you will. That's not the kind of laugh you can hold back.
I think that Madam knows that who runs Bartertown. And that Master Blaster thinks he runs Bartertown. So that, she likes to spread her wings and flex her muscles, if all that makes sense.
Right.
It might if you like that movie, but
I just noticed in a few videos that when she's winning, it is like
and Gary, she wants to keep going. She's like, let's shoot another video. Let's do another one.
Right. I'm on a streak.
He's like, double down, triple down. Let's kick him while he's down,
I will say I did play a lot of board games growing up when I was growing up, and I was very competitive, and I really loved like board games and stuff. So
yeah, because you're a very much in your face winner. In your face.
I feel so bad now.
Gary, move yourself to the top. I'm liking this. You can move yourself to the top.
Madam, I think I'm sorry. I think I'm similar, but I find that when I used to play board games, when my kids are older now and they're gone, we used to play board games or card games or what have you, and I'd win. I'd be like, yeah, right in your face. And what happened is they all would gang up on me then.
Right.
It made it really hard for me to win. And I said, come on, guys, it's not fair. So I don't know if that happens to you, but it does happen to me.
You can't do that cosplay. You'd end up hitting Steven with the hammer.
Right.
That's not a safe place for Steven to be.
Right. No Harley Quinn.
No Harley Quinn.
And you're not, so Madam, when she does the cosplay, you like the character, I think. Right. And
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to sell it. You have to be that character, and you have to like what you're selling. So.
I don't want to get dressed up like that character.
That's correct. That's what I mean.
I don't want to get dressed up like Harley Quinn.
All right, can we pause? Okay, Madam, show the claws. Like, this is what she does every video. look at these claws. And then she'll go, can I pull that comic book out and look at it? And I will be like,
no,
not with the Wolverine claws. You can't. Please.
Wow.
Now, I did have a serious question for you, though, madam.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, with the art, you obviously do. Like Joe and I can attest, you do beautiful sketches, and you definitely have an artist's hand, right? Plus, you sculpt. What is the different draw for you for the different mediums of art, and which one do you enjoy the most?
Well, I actually do a lot of. I've actually done a couple public memorials, you know, for outside, and I just love doing bronze work. I think it's really cool. It's my passion. Making realistic-ish sculptures is, you know, just where I find my happy place, and it's very meditative when I'm, you know, sculpting and
bringing something to life.
Yes, yeah. I have a sculpture here. I did.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see it.
Absolutely.
Am I supposed to use those muscles that you love so much?
Yeah.
It's not the one we just picked up because Stephen wouldn't let me show that one, but this is just an old one I had done.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
This video is not made for children.
Not made for children.
Right, it's artistic. It's fine.
Yeah.
So madam, with 4 children, and if you count Steve, 5.
Right.
How do you find the time? Because I would think you really need some quiet time and, you know, be able to go through the process, you know, to get to sculpt the clay, you know, before it gets turned into the bronze statue.
Well, I wake up really early. I'm an early riser, so I like to wake up, you know, sometimes 3 or 4 in the morning, and I will like have a cup of coffee, and I will sculpt and get ready for the day and make lunches and whatever I got to do. So that's when I like to have my own time to create. And I saw someone ask how I sculpt with these claws, and that's a very good question. There's a reason why I have these claws on is because I can just take them right off.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting them done in a salon or something, then I would have to like wait like 2 weeks to get them off, and it would be a big hassle. So I like to really just have them on and take them off, and that's why.
Now, with you being an artist too, did Steve ever make you cosplay as Demi Moore in Ghost and reenact the scene?
Yeah. And play the music in the background. Okay, here we go.
Oh. Steve got red really quick.
I knew that was gonna come. I mean, come on, man. That's an easy, you know.
I like that.
Good.
That's pottery wheel going.
Steven's like, not yet, but
that's not a pottery wheel.
Keep sculpting.
Keep sculpting. Oh man,
goodness. We almost made Stephanie lose her beer. We're going for the live spit up, like where you can't just hold a drink in and it goes all over the place. All right, so Stephanie, you finally gave in. You accepted Steven's hobby and became a part of it. What has the YouTube journey with you two together as a couple been like on YouTube? Because Steven, I'm assuming it's been a lot more fun with you now as well, having Stephanie involved and you guys doing it as a couple. Because it's cool that you guys will do it together.
I'll tell you, it's almost replaced our date night for just like getting a show together, like having fun, like talking about the comics and what we're gonna do, which one's more expensive and stuff. And I get to get dressed up. It's nice. So we're having fun, and I feel like I've really gone down the rabbit hole. But I think most of all, it's got to be the comic book community who's really stepped up and who I've really like noticed is like come out of the woodwork, and like you meet all these awesome people who are so kind and generous with their time and comments. And that's really been the heartwarming thing about it. You know, that's like kept us here, I think.
I think that's the same answer for all of us. So like when we all came to YouTube, we all found something we didn't know we needed that was missing, right? This community that's so supportive. And Steven, you could probably speak to it. As a comic collector, it's not like you can go to 5 different people in your daily life and talk comics with them.
No. 100% that. But I do like getting Stephanie excited about getting into the cosplay. Not like, no.
Well,
sometimes I'll be like, why don't you go ahead and wear that for the rest of the day, madam? Power Girl's looking good.
Yeah.
No. It's amazing that
up top.
Yeah. I've said that once or twice. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not hating that, right?
Right.
But the fact that there was a way to bring Stephanie in has really opened the door for it being like, this case is in our common area, right? It's not hidden in the closet.
Right. It doesn't have to be stuck in a man cave. It can just be out in the open.
Right. And Stephanie's excited about the next video that we're going to shoot. This is amazing. We were really excited about tonight. We're having a blast. We're really having fun. And it is because of you guys. It's because you brought Joe on. It's because Digger was really kind to us. And it's awesome to spend time with him and everybody that we recognize, or even new people in the comments section. Yeah. We really, really love this community, the opportunity to virtually like be friends and everything. It's awesome.
Right. And I agree all the time, like YouTube is the new local bar hangout, right?
Yeah.
Except you don't have to leave the house. Like,
right.
I think with you guys on tonight, I haven't had a beer in maybe 6 months, and I'm on my third one now.
Matt Woods.
Well, I'm just
enablers.
I don't hate it. I'm not a drinker. I did all my drinking from 17 to 21, and then I was like, all right, now that I'm legal, I'm bored of it.
Right.
No, it's not fun anymore.
Right.
Well, that, and I got to spend money on comics, not alcohol.
Right.
But it is the new local bar to me, YouTube. It's the community. You used to go out and meet your friends here, or you meet them out for dinner. And now you just get on a live stream and you meet your friends and you hang out there. And the best part about it as adults is when we shut the cameras off, we can just go to bed.
You don't have to drink and drive.
Right.
Just roll right up to our bed.
You're like, well, I'm good. That was fun. I'm out.
Do you know what I think? I'm going to overextend myself here or get ahead of my skis, but I feel like the neat thing about the comic book community is we're not trying to like keep up with each other. I don't. Oh, right. I feel like I'm doing my thing, and I feel like I like that I have the original comic book art, or I have the 1 through 100, and they're like, nobody else is trying to do that. And I'm not trying to do DC stuff. Right. Not that I hate on it. I just have my narrow thing, and everybody is on board with, like, they enjoy watching me. They might think I'm crazy, or, and you and Matt Woods are into Conan, and I think it's great. It's like, I'm not trying to go, I would love to read a Conan book or 2 or 3 and see
what the appeal is.
Because you guys are jazzed, and I'm like, there's something there. I just haven't gone there yet, So I just think it's neat that we're all doing our own thing, and we're not trying to be the same.
No, yeah, everybody's got something to share, and everybody's supportive of everybody else.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Like, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you to get your goal. I really am. I'm like, man.
Well, and that's the other thing about this community too. We root for each other.
Yeah.
It tickled us pink on Joe's birthday live stream. We gave away a Turok #1. It was a 9/6 signed, and the winner. Do you remember the name of the winner? They messaged us, gave us the address, and they're like, "This is the first slab I'm gonna get." Wow. It was
and a signed one too.
23 or something.
Monarch.
Yeah, 23 Monarch. Yeah,
oh,
sure.
Great.
Yeah.
And
I just thought, when we read that, I was like, "This is awesome." Yeah, this is awesome. So that's what it's all about.
And a signed book, nonetheless, right?
Yellow label.
Right.
Telling you.
What a way to start off with your first book.
Yeah. And a Turok #1.
I mean, they got to be in every collection. They got to be within arm's length. It's required by law.
I actually
required by law.
I don't have one. Oh,
Move the man up to the top. Move him up to the top. It was an arm's length. He gets
oh
credit.
my gosh. Yeah.
But it is a good cover for all the picking that people do on that book. The cover is nice.
Yeah, the cover is very
Madam's
nice.
flexing. Right. Brace for impact.
Only thing I have with arm's reach is my Give and Gang copy.
There you go.
There we are.
Now there was
Reggie sent that to Madam. Do you know this story?
No,
I do, but tell it for the people who don't.
I don't.
Am I okay? So Madam rolls over one of those dark 30 mornings. I don't know why she rolled over and asked me this, but she's like, "Am I a member of the Give and Gang?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "I'm married to you, and you have a copy, and you're, a blue wrench on Reggie's channel." And I'm like, "That's not how it works. You need to have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man 110. And I have one, but you don't have one." And she I posted some stuff on Instagram. It wasn't
You can already see her blood boiling with the competition to get one now.
The competition was on. And Madam was flexing on Instagram saying, "I married into it. 50% of all your comic books are mine. I'll rip them in half. Don't test me."
You did not say that.
Okay, I over-exaggerated that part. And then, all that's happening on Instagram, and Reggie goes and does a short clip and posts it, and he goes, "I'm going to take care of Madam." And he sent this in the mail, and it came to the house in like 3 days, and Madam has her copy, and we marked it so there's no contesting.
She's even doing a little bit of her evil celebrating. I can see it.
She's doing victory laps, and that's
Jerry, you keep calling me evil, and I just got one little fact for you, a little fun fact.
Yes, ma'am.
About me being evil.
I feel like
my father was born on Friday the 13th. Right?
Ooh.
Right.
And my mother was born on Halloween.
Nice.
Oh, man, you're practically Wednesday, for crying out loud.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't even know. I didn't know either of those two.
I was also born on a holiday.
I just learned something new.
I really like the Omen. You gotta look at my hair and find like 666.
Is there a lemon law on 18 years of marriage? Joe, you're an attorney.
No.
Joe's retired.
There's a little bit more to that Give and Gang thing. So when I saw that, I have about 3 copies. I think I told you this, right? So I said to myself, I'm going to send one to Madam. So I start packing it up, and then I see Reggie's thing. So right to him, I said, she almost had 2. So she almost had 2. I was
my God. She would outnumber me, Joe.
No one knows. No one knows the little tidbit about this story is that when I was looking and searching, I wasn't looking and searching. Steven was looking and searching for his Give and Gang copy, right? When he spent all Sunday looking for it, he went through all of his comics looking for this. He was sweating. He was sitting there. I posted on Instagram him going through his comics. And I'm like, ha, 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 I can't find it. And then he comes out and he's like, you know something? I just realized I had it slabbed.
I went through I have about 15,000 raw comic books, and I'm unorganized. So I had to go through the whole thing for an entire day looking for that because I had called her out on Instagram.
Right.
And I couldn't find it. And it
was like instant karma.
Pretty fly for a Filipino guy. Joe, Matt, Squirrel Madness. The whole Give and Gang was starting to catch wind that I couldn't find it. So blood was in the water.
And they were all throwing up their copies.
They were all it was a disaster. My whole weekend was shot. And I realized I only have one EGS slabbed book. Right. I had sent it there to get a custom Give and Gang label. And so it was I only have I have 100 and something slabs. And it was just hanging out over there. And I was looking through all the raws, which are not organized again.
Now, Stephanie, how much were you enjoying him sweating it out?
I'm sure.
So much that I took a picture of him in secret going through his boxes. I posted on Instagram. It's like, as soon as he sees us, I'm in trouble.
Isn't that a HIPAA violation or something? I filed a complaint.
I'm going to my
Zuckerberg said
right now.
I mean, she didn't get my permission to post that one picture of me like sweating.
I think it's a Comics Code violation.
Yeah, that's a Comics Code Authority violation, madam. 5-yard penalty.
Right,
but madam, the Comics Code Authority hasn't been in practice for a long time. I think you're safe.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a fun fact about us. Boy, we haven't been talking. It feels like not a lot. This hot seat's great because we took over, and you can't grill us. We're blocking.
That's what it's all about, Stephen.
Here's the thing you need to know about Madam that I did not know about her when we were courting or whatever the heck, when she reached for the door handle and said, "Are you going to make a move?" Is this. She doesn't like music.
God, I mean, I like some music.
Barely any. And
so you
I don't
listen
know.
to music when you do art?
No, I like I'll be honest with you. I have ADHD. And I really like the background noise of TV. I'm serious. Like as a repetitive noise, or when I'm sleeping, I need like the fan in the background. I need some noise to help me.
I can relate to that because I like to put on a movie.
But music, I'll tell you the problem with music. The music makes me too, like, it takes over my thoughts. Then it's too involving. Like I don't even, it takes you to that new place that you were when you listen to the song. It's like too carriesome. Like I just want the white noise. It
splits your focus too much, right? You're trying to focus on the one thing. Yeah, no, I could see that. I mean,
and I use it for the complete opposite, where I want the music to take me away from all the stressors.
That's what
I want it to take away my focus.
Right.
I want to live inside of it.
I'm trying to get away from whatever I want to not think about.
Yeah. Well.
So Madam, I have one more question. Yeah, I have one more question for Madam, if I may. So,
can we move Joe up just because we love him so much to the top? Just move him up. Just move him up.
So, Madam, with your sculpting and everything like that, if you had, what would be your dream sculpt? If you had somebody coming over to you and said, "I'd like you to do this," let's say you could have private, but let's say in a public sphere, all right. What would that be?
Good question.
Well, I would tell you, personally, as a dream goal, I would love to have something in the Capitol.
Right.
Would be nice. Okay, just asking for a little there, to do a president or something would be, those are just big goals.
The Master Blaster Memoriam.
He's had his head done quite a few times actually that I've done. And we actually have a large Newton's cradle with his head as the balls outside of our home.
Wow.
So you can take 5 bronze heads and you can knock them all against each other.
Not 5 bronze heads, 5 of this.
5 of those heads.
You know what the Newton's cradle?
Yeah.
Okay, just for the audience. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
How big is that? How big is that?
It's life size.
So you must have
I'll post a picture on Instagram after this.
Set as a frame, and it's just boom, wow.
That's amazing.
It doesn't work. It's bronze. You don't want to whack it like that because bronze is soft. Well, people have done it, and I'm like, come on.
There you go. Steve is teaching you how to whack it live.
He's telling you that it's soft. I mean, you don't want to.
Oh, whoa.
I meant the metal. Yeah, the metal.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist, Steven. You set yourself up for it, but
I did. I walked right into that one. Well played.
All wrong.
But you know what? I think that it's good that, for me personally, it's good that Stephanie's an artist, and that I think that people with artistic talent become more. They're not as stressed about the comic side of things. Like my wife,
we do see that.
she does art. She does jewelry, metal jewelry, and all that stuff. So when we were married, even then, I had comics and all this stuff, and it never fazed her at all. And actually, that was the biggest surprise of all, is when she said, "Hey, I want to go to a con with you. I want to see what all this." And I took her to a con, and she, this was but I can't even remember. It might have been like 2008 or something. And she ended up gravitating towards, I don't ever say his name right, Matt Kendon, the,
I think
the writer, Kent, yeah.
Okay.
And him and his wife were there, and like nobody was around. And she sat there and talked to them for like a half an hour. And I was walking around. I don't know what she was doing. And she came back and she was like, "I want you to buy everything on this table." Like, yeah, no, that's not how this works. You need to come over. But you know what? I did buy her a lot of those comics that he had, because at that point I was like, okay, this is good. She wants to read these, and I'm okay with that. She's getting into it. So, but because I think she's deep down, she's a biostatistician by day. Okay. But in her soul, she's an artist. I mean, like definitely down the road, that will be what she does for her fun. So I think that having an artistic wife helps you, brother.
Oh, I know.
Now,
I'm a lucky man. I might complain and gripe along the way, but I'm very happy. Lucky man.
I did want to ask her a question about the sculpting. So, as an artist,
I can leave, guys.
No.
I'm joking. I'm loving this. Thank you for all these questions.
As an artist and a sculptor, have you ever just done a piece where you thought, like, wow, I really nailed this one. I'm really happy with it. Or are you one of those artists where it's like, you're always like, I did good, but I could improve the next one?
Yeah.
Are you like the worst critic?
I am my worst critic, but absolutely. And I'll tell you something, I never really finished anything. It's just time steals it away. The deadline will steal it away from me.
Right. It's always in progress with you in your mind.
Yeah, because I can always see what's wrong with it. And there's always something wrong, so.
I find that to be the case. I have some friends that are artists, and I find that to be the same thing with them. I mean, I tell them, I asked him the question. He's very good. And he knows I dabble in pencils and things like that. And mine is just finished when I'm tired of whatever I'm doing. But with him, he paints, and they're beautiful paintings, self-taught.
Yeah.
But he says, I don't know when it's done, Right. And so we went to some art shows, and we started asking other painters that, and they all say the same thing. It just isn't never really done. It just kind of ended because you have to go on to do something else.
And I think that's the creative mind in general, don't you, Joe?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a favorite sculptor that you admire, Stephanie?
Sure, I really like Michelangelo and Rodin and Mario Cheeto. I believe is a contemporary artist on Instagram. He's really good. He reminds me of like the modern day Michelangelo. And he does monuments. He does public monuments of realistic people. Nelson Mandela or whatever. And
right.
People. Yeah.
Now, how'd you get into the different forms of sculpting? Like, you've done bronze, you've done other material. What leads you into one material over the other? Is it strictly the commission, or is it something that you have an idea of what you want to work in?
I'll tell you what it is. It's my love of the medium. I used to work with oil-based clay, and oil-based clay is very finicky. It'll dry, it'll crack. You have to keep spraying water on it and cover it up. It's a real pain in the butt. It needs a lot of attention. But with oil-based clay, as soon as you touch it, it'll stay forever like that. It'll get dusty, but it'll stay. And I love that about it. It's like I have control over it. Oh, and you're not going to crack. You're not going to do anything. So I really fell in love with that. I had so much control over it. And I really felt like I could express myself best in that form. I really love that best. So.
Nice.
Like,
I've done like stone sculptures before and like paintings. I graduated like in painting, and I've done like, you know, ceramic stuff before, but I'm not really into ceramics at all. Yeah.
So now you see why the Demi Moore scene is out.
Is out.
She doesn't like
none of that ceramics.
None of that symmetrical. Yeah.
Not the water-based. No, she doesn't have time for that.
Well, that's the one form of art you don't like, is the ceramics.
Yeah.
And for the record, bronzes are hard.
Yes, they are. They are.
I know where you're going with that, honey. You don't need to show.
I have a reputation to uphold here. All right, I built it up on YouTube for a couple years. All right,
Madam, we had a good serious moment for a second.
Yeah.
Let me say on Madam's behalf, and this is when she is sculpting the different projects, sometimes they just magic happens right out of the gate. I hope you'll agree with what I'm going to say. And sometimes it is difficult. And frankly, for me, being an outsider looking in, I met her at art class. I have a degree in sculpting from ASU myself, which is not high credentials, but it ain't easy. And sometimes magic happens. So it's both ways. It's amazing when it all comes together right out of the gate. She sculpts it and it's perfect, fast. And I'm and we all know she's talented.
Right.
And then if it's a battle, she has to battle through it. You've got to make it work. You got to rework it. So it isn't both. It's not one or the other. We don't know how it's going to shake out.
Right. Yeah. But I think we all know from watching your channel that the one thing Madam is a fighter.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, thanks, Gary.
You know, so I don't think she's gonna let any project defeat her, right? She's gonna conquer it.
He deserves it.
He deserves it.
Gary, I have one last question.
Everyone that's watching, Steven and Stephanie's Instagrams, they have separate Instagrams. They are in the description. So, Stephanie, if someone's going to go to your Instagram and they're going to check out one piece of work that you did, what is the one piece of work that you're most proud of in the post that you would want them to see of your work?
Ooh, good question.
That's a good question. I got to go with one of my big ones. I got to go with the EOD memorial sculpture I did. That I just did in May, unveiled in May, and it was a big guy in a bomb suit, and he's holding a folded flag. And
I did see that one. That one's really, really beautiful.
Thank you. I actually have a sculpture of it right over there, but Steven won't let me show it.
We'll go get it.
I'm God.
Sorry.
Is that on your Instagram?
No.
That's what they're asking.
Yeah,
all right.
the big one.
She'll post a picture of it if it isn't on there. All right, here we go. Let's cross our fingers. Here, let me use my muscles. All right.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
This is the maquette, right?
Right.
We just got these back. And we're going to I know. Well, it's true. And
that is
there's a 7-foot tall one of these at Eglin Air Force Base.
Wow. 7 feet.
And I'm on the bomb squad, so this is wearing the bomb suit. So that was huge. It's a huge family.
Now, Steven, as the husband of somebody that talented, when you're going by that, do you point it out to the other guys in your troop? Yeah, that's my wife's work.
Yeah.
I would.
You know,
yeah.
My wife did that.
Of course. And I've got some signed Stan Lee comic books to boot. How you like them apples? Yeah. Heck yeah.
And Stephanie, I can't imagine having something that I did on display in public. How is that feeling when you see your own work in public? Is it kind of surreal to you?
I'll tell you, Gary, it's really surreal. It feels like not real. It feels like I've accomplished something really big that I really wanted to do with my life and accomplished it. And to tell you the truth, it is overwhelming and just humbling, to think, I got to do that and not everyone gets to do that,
Right.
We lost Joe.
Joe! Come back.
They only let the internet go so long in Florida and then they cut it off.
No, but I did want to get some of those questions in. as much as we like to pick on each other, I wanted to get some serious questions in on you guys too. Okay. People need to know that side of you guys too. You guys have accomplished quite. There he is. We got him back. We'll put him back to the top.
See what happened.
All right, let's do the lightning round. Are we doing a lightning round? Is that what I'm hearing? Am I supposed to start sweating now? I hydrated for this.
Well, we've been going for an hour and a half, so we should start doing a wrap up here.
All right.
But you know, I feel like we need to have you guys back because I've only talked to you guys a few times, but you're the type of people I could talk to for hours and hours and never get bored. You know. So
it's
fun because you guys are genuine. It's fun to talk to you guys. Just like it's fun to talk to Jim and Joe. It's just, you know, like you guys are saying, it's making those connections, right?
Right.
But Joe, let's lead with you. Let's start doing some final rounds of questions here.
Okay, I have one last question for both of you. And it goes to the sculpting and to comic books. So, Steve, if you could ask Stephanie to sculpt one character for you, what would it be? And Stephanie, if you decided you wanted to sculpt a character for yourself, which character would that be?
Man, that's a good question.
Go with Black Cat, Steven.
No, Dazzler.
Either one can go first.
Yeah, do Dazzler.
Are you ready?
No, you go first. I mean, you were asked first.
I'm just going to say the character that popped into my mind, the Punisher.
Ooh,
nice.
Interesting, not Spidey. That's interesting.
I just think the Punisher and bronze, realistic with Stephanie's skills would be a good call. It would it would get your attention.
Right.
Classic logo or new logo?
I'm old school. We're going old school.
It's got to be classic.
Yeah.
Stephanie?
Let's see. I like the Emma Frost is cool, and I like the Scarlet Witch. I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'd be fun to do Scarlet Witch. I like her headdress. You know, she's got the big cape. She would make a great figure.
Right.
Oh, you know, now that you brought up Scarlet Witch, I thought that was one of your best cosplays because I think your face fit that headdress really well.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. Thank you, Gary.
I think she loved that one.
Yeah. No, it just seemed like a natural, like you looked like the Scarlet Witch.
That's sweet. Thank you. Yeah.
So like this is the George Perez type Scarlet Witch. Is that a cosplay opportunity right there?
Move Digger to the top. Move Digger to the top. Yeah, Madam.
I can't top that. Was amazing.
Madam's gonna have to do some. Oh well, no, I better walk that back.
Yeah, Madam is fine the way she is. I can't beat Joe's question. That was amazing, Joe. I don't even know.
That was a great question.
Yeah, because
thank you.
It incorporates both mediums, and you know, I think for me, I guess the question for me would be where, aside from your lofty goal of your Stan Lee thing, do you have any minor goals in comics as far as like, you know, I really would like to get this small run of this. I think it would be an interesting read, or, you know, anything like that for 2023. And Madam, do you have anything from an artistic side of a goal that you're trying to achieve in 2023? Like Gary said, you know what? I really hope that I can get the opportunity to do this, or it doesn't have to be anything major. I think that that EOD thing is major. That's huge to me. That's massive.
Do you want to go
first? Small goal.
Okay. My answer is going to be no. So last year I was the very first run of Yellow Label signed Stan Lee books that I put together. I've only done one complete run, was the McFarlane Spider-Man run.
Nice.
I had them all signed by Stan Lee, and some would have only Stan Lee's signature, or they might have McFarlane's and the writer, and you know, And I wrote, and so on our show or on our channel, it's a big running, I'm breaking up with Todd McFarlane.
Right.
Right.
As you can tell.
Yeah.
That just came back in.
I was going to say, wait a minute. I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a side little run that last year I was starting to do, and I got some of the keys, was that run of newsstand Mark Jeweler inserts of the McFarlane, which 300 would be a monster. But honestly, it's time to dig my heels in. I have 59 of the 100, 1 through 100 signed by Stan Lee. I don't have time to, I mean, I am going to local comic book shop and I'm reading Silver Coin. I'm reading Ice Cream Man. I'm reading The Punisher. I'm reading Batman, and I'm liking that. But I'm not trying to get distracted by Instagram sales.
I got you. You're staying on the big goal.
I'm trying to get Amazing Spider-Man 2, 3, or 4 here in the next month or two.
Sure.
So I am laser focused right this second.
Nice. And that's great. I mean, that's part of that. That answers the question. I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question for you, honey.
Uh-oh.
Are you planning on like timing out your purchase of Stan Lee books 1 through 100, like throughout the rest of your life? Like I'll get number like 1 when I'm on my deathbed.
No.
And that will be perfect.
I had the milestone of 1 a month, and I was hitting that for a while. A year or two ago, they were all over eBay.
Right.
I don't go to Comic Link. I bought original comic book art off of the auction houses, but not comic books.
Yeah.
Because of the fees and things. I don't know.
Right.
And I'm just comfortable with eBay. And I'm going to have to make adjustments because it's really peculiar to me that normally right after the holidays, the books I'm looking for show up because people need to sell to pay down their whatever. So there is a weird thing happening where the people that have the Stan Lee books, maybe that's the only book they have, and they're just not going to sell it. So So
they can't replace it if they do. Right.
It's changing my outlook that I have to be very laser focused and be ready to pounce when it is out there because the scenario has changed for me.
Yeah, the margin is minute.
Yeah.
Steven's very attracted to shiny squirrels.
I've been disciplined. I've been very proud of myself. Can you pat my back?
No.
No?
No.
I'll do it.
That'll count as your massage.
She can't. Yeah, she can't got it or rub it.
All right. Okay. Digger, Jim, can you repeat the question for Madam?
No, I just didn't know if Madam had any artistic goals for 2023 that you were going to try to achieve, and would we even understood them, even if you I don't even know if I'd understand them or not.
Like personal non-commission goals, right?
Yeah, really.
Non-commission goals. I don't really have any personal goals. I just want to keep creating. I mean, when you graduate, when I graduated college, I didn't know, would I ever be doing art again? Would I ever be sculpting again? Who knows? I could just be working and that's it. And that's my life,
Right.
But I didn't. I kept doing my passion. I kept pursuing it. I kept doing it. So it really has in the background, paid off.
Sure.
And I love it. So thank God for that. It's a really happy place in my life that art is.
Right on. Okay.
I mean, Madam would do it for free. Don't tell the people that are, don't tell when she does the proposals, don't tell those, but she would do it for free. It's safe to say that you want to be working, I think.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
It's good because you're unique where you get to do your passion as your job.
Yeah.
Me too. I get to blow stuff up and shoot guns, and you guys are paying my.
There's nothing wrong with that, Steven. I would like to blow
stuff and shoot guns.
So, when are you targeting Matt's house? Joe's got too many houses. You can't target Joe. He's always on the
Joe's a mover.
He's trying to sell. He's like down here. Somewhere.
You can never tell. He's always like in between Florida and New York. He's like right in the middle.
So there's a saying, all right, if you're crossing an open field and the bad guys are in the wood line, you say this to yourself. It's like, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. And you better get down on the ground because they're requiring you to shoot you.
Right.
And that's what you say to yourself as you're bounding across and that's Joe. Joe is just like, I'm over here. I'm over there. Don't send me a box. I'm not there. I'm over here. I'm just going to hang out at the one spot and get all of Joe's CGC submissions.
Right.
And I'll take good care of them.
You take one
like
spot,
the one
I'll
I
take
told
the
you
other.
about.
We'll sit there and sign for them. Well,
Somebody did.
Joe's doing this from Air Force One for all we know.
Yeah.
It's a blank background. We don't know.
I know. Witness protection. That collection of Joe's.
This was my tribute to the comic vet for reaching his 1,000.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, the blank background.
The blank background classic.
I know this isn't a show and tell, but we mentioned the comic vet, and my art skills have been brought into contention here. So I did do a sketch of Chris, and I want to just show it off because I love the guy.
And he didn't actually do the sketch. My daughter did this sketch, and he just put the mustache on.
So my daughter did a self-portrait of me. And then we were on Rob Fat Stax, and Rob had gotten an amazing sketch from Madam, and I didn't want Chris to feel bad, so I did this for him. Yeah. I still got to mail it out to him. I need his address. And for some reason, he's not sending it to me. I don't know what the deal is. I am open for commissions, so DM me if you.
So my final question, it has to do with you guys' personal life. So you guys have the YouTube channel, you do all this together. How do the kids and your friends and family react to your YouTube channel? Or are they interested in what you guys do together with YouTube, or could they care less?
Okay, do you want to?
Well, I'll tell you, one of my Christmas presents from my daughter was a pin of me as Madam Blaster with like a quote I had said. And she got that for me. I thought that was really sweet. But the kids are good. They know like mom and dad are going to be having fun for an hour or whatever, and we can go upstairs and, entertain ourselves. So
no.
Think
that's not YouTube videos, honey. That's something else.
Okay. And that's
No, it is cool. The kids know we're doing this. We're like, hey, don't come down here and like interrogate us while we're live on Gary B. We're in the hot seat. This is real. No, we're having fun with it. Now we keep it a secret from all our adult family members because we're fine, outstanding citizens and all that. We're just having fun with it. We don't care. I have a top secret clearance I need to maintain. So if the comic book crowd could keep it clean, that would be great for my next background check. That's all I'm saying.
And, I was lucky enough to win a book from you guys, and I got the book, and it had a fun sticker with it. But, Stephanie, have you noticed that even though you're part of the YouTube channel, you're still not yet part of the sticker?
Ooh. You know something, Gary? I did notice that.
Ooh.
Hey, Digger,
can I move myself
rights to take Gary B off his own show?
I don't. He hasn't given me those rights yet.
I'm just saying, Stephanie. I thought it was Master and Madam Blaster, not Master me sticker.
It started off as Master Blaster, and he's just having trouble releasing the power, the control of knowing it's his own name, and that's it. So, yeah.
I just made a lot of stickers, so we got to get those.
I know, and I was just having fun with it.
All
right, good. Well, we will start wrapping it up. We'll see what's going on with everybody around, because we're going on an hour and 40 minutes, and I could probably talk to you guys for 3 more. It's so much fun. But Jim, what's coming up for you, sir?
I am.
Let's make Jim big. Make him big.
Yeah, I actually don't have it in front of me, but I bought some comic skins, and I'm going to do a how to make your own slab video, or how you can use comic skins to take your books, and I have some specific books that I want to, like this one. This came to me because it's metal detecting guy and a comic, so I'm going to use the comic skin to make it. And my good friend Chip Gettler made a nice label for it, so I'm going to make a video of that and another book that I asked him to make a label for, and he did. And so that's going to be, I put that stuff together, and I've got some packages coming in that I'll probably be doing some videos on that too.
That Chip, he's just so damn talented.
He is very talented.
My YouTube banner was made by Chip.
Right. I mean, so, you know, he has wicked skills. And I'll get outside eventually. I'm looking for fresh grounds to hunt. I'm working some stuff.
He's on the prowl.
Well, you know,
it's metal detecting. Comics or metal?
It's both, really. I'll probably... Yeah, I was, you know, I was told I need to get out of the house for a couple hours on Saturday, so I'll probably be, because the weather's not going to be great, I'll probably be going comic hunting. There's a store about an hour away that I want to go to that has some pretty interesting deals. So, but the metal detecting too it's all about connecting with different people. Somebody found out that I had done that apartment complex, and they're talking about they have a friend that has a house that was a hospital during the Civil War. So they're like, hey, would you come and do that? And I'm like, sure. Yeah.
How much fun would that be, right?
Yeah, send me the address. So I got to get in contact with that person.
Can I ask Digger Jim a quick question?
Sure.
Okay. If I'm not super, like I said, I started watching some of your hunting metal detection videos. If you found like some amazing find, would you keep that? Would you liquidate that? And turn it into a comic book or something? Or
well, whenever if I go to somebody's home or has allowed me to come and do it, the metal detect it, the first thing I do is I say, look, anything I find is yours. All right, you have the option to keep it. All I ask is to let me shoot a photograph. Because I mean, technically, it's their property. It's their property. It's on their property. They are allowing me to dig this up and find it. Yes, but I always give them that option. 99% of the people just say, I don't want it, because it's just they don't. You know, it doesn't matter. Do I liquidate? No. I mean, like, I give stuff away. You guys have gotten it, but by the way, I need to give you a couple more coins. I think I only sent you 2, right?
By the way, our daughter Scarlett still has your coin in her closet. I saw it yesterday. So.
Right. I'm like, I didn't know you had 4 kids. I should have sent 4. But like, so, you know, this is
Steve swallowed his. He'll poop it out later.
Yeah. I don't really. I'm not a big believer in selling. This is part of history. You know, I found what was called a watch fob back in the day, and it was a political watch fob from during this guy was running for president, and he, you know, if he had actually won the nomination, he'd have gone up against Truman, and I'm sorry, not Truman. He would have gone against oh my God, I can't think of his name. He was before Truman, but he was the League of Nations. The
Wilson? Wilson?
Yeah, I'm sorry, against Wilson. That's right, against Woodrow Wilson. So, you know, he didn't win the nomination because he was trying to figure out how to disband the House of Representatives. But that's a long story. But that's a piece of history. That means in that period of time, that person came to my town that I'm living in now and stumped, you know, for his campaign, because he would hand these things out. And so anytime I find stuff like that, that to me is just more valuable to keep, or I'd donate it before I would sell it. Okay. And just not my thing. You know, plus it's real money. I mean, this is a silver $50 that is, you know, from 1947. I want to keep that.
That's awesome. I was just curious.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I have going on. I gotta, you know, you gotta find good places to go, and I have to work it. It takes time. That's it.
All right, nice. All right, Joe, what's going on with you, sir?
Well, I just posted yesterday the 9th in my series of DC versus Marvel in the 1960s, a battle of the comic book values. So that's up there right now. Me and the DC Watch guys are going to be recording something tomorrow. Doesn't mean it's going to come out soon, but we're recording some stuff tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. I've got an espresso mail call coming up next week.
Ooh.
The comic book crowd is the last Friday this month, and Pretty Fly is going to be a special guest because he came up with the topic. And if anybody out there wants to come up with a topic that we all like, you could be the next guest on Comic Book Crowd. And I really like giving away comics and doing like the charity stuff that I did. So I'm ruminating a particular approach or a particular new show where I might be able to do potentially a little bit of both. Give some money away to charity and maybe give away some comics. Maybe one or the other. I'm not exactly sure yet, but look for that maybe in the next month or so, as well as a new show on the Anachronic Comics YouTube channel.
Ooh,
Comic nice. Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful shirt you're wearing, Joe.
I know. It's a prototype, and only one person. There's only one other that is in existence right now.
Yeah.
I think that Steve has it.
Oh. All right, and Blasters, what's coming up with you guys? Obviously, you're on that show with Joe, the comic book crowd.
Yes, I mean, that's our top priority, at least in the Blaster family. I know Joe is trying to decide his loyalties, but well, we are super excited. I mean, this was the pinnacle of our week. I got in cosplay. Please check us out and see me as the Silver Surfer.
Or don't see you. You're pretty
don't
covered.
See me. It's pretty epic. But Gary B, you just, after a whole year, you received your CBCS books, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a fun video. Go check that one out. But I have a box, and the very first giveaway we ever did on our channel, the winner was Tech Geek 200, and he lives in the Valley here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Nice.
We met. So that was epic. What a coincidence. Met him, did a sketch of him, and we met him at the LCS, and she gave him that. We gave him the win. And then we hit it off like gangbusters, and we sent in a couple books to CBCS a year ago to get the signature yellow label verified, and they're back. So we're going to unbox that. Brandon's coming over to the house.
Ooh.
He's going to be here with Madam. Now, last time we did that, Madam did she was crammed between us. She was a sandwich. Tech Geek, Madam, and me. I don't know how this is going to shake out, but
we're going to move the camera way back. So
we're going to unbox that. Now, let me tease this. I didn't get to say The Crow is one of my favorite stories. So Caliber #1 is in there, and it's signed by James O'Barr.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to get that. The grade, it should be over a 9. It doesn't even matter. It's not going to get sold. So, but
right.
Yeah. And Brandon has a Todd McFarlane New Mutants cover. I forget the number, but it's a dynamic cover. I'm excited. And he has one other book. So come check it out.
Nice.
All right. Excellent. Guys, coming up for me, of course, this Saturday, Savage Saturday Comic Review, where I review Savage Comic for those of you who are niche and follow those silly little things I do. Next Tuesday on the 10/1/1, we have Freaky Louie coming back for a second appearance. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So look forward to that. But as for tonight, I want to thank, first of all, Jim, who's always here in my corner. Thank you, Jim.
Yes,
I want to thank Joe for coming on as a surprise guest host and making his co-hosting debut on the channel. Joe, I hope you know you're always welcome. And if you see a show coming up that you want to be a part of, you just got to let me know, and I'll make room for you, even if I have to Jim. I mean, whatever we got to do.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just picking. But Blasters, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for sharing your stories and opening up. And it was an absolute honor to have you guys back on the channel again. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks so much. Fun. Thanks for having us. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love them.
Everybody out there.
The comic book fam, everybody out there who stopped by. That's awesome.
So. Right. And that was my last one too, is thank you to the audience that was here tonight. We had a great audience the whole show. It was so much fun. Great questions, great little asides and little jokes too. So just great stuff. But guys, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. And until next time, keep it casual.